Hello everyone, today in this video we are going to learn how to animate on your phone. To animate on your smartphone all you need is an app called Flipaclip. In my personal opinion, Flipaclip is the best app to animate on phone. I've been using Flipaclip for last 3 years. It is free and doesn't contain inappropriate and bothering ads. Okay, so let's start. First you will have to download Flipaclip from Play Store or App Store. Once you have downloaded Flipaclip, it will look something like this. Here are my previous projects, and to create a new project simply click on that red plus button. Your new project settings will come up. Here you can name your project. You can change the size of your canvas as per your need. I personally use YouTube 1080p, it works best for me. Here you can choose the background for your animation. You can opt any color image or texture you want. I personally use light muted colors background for my animations. Now you will have to choose FPS or frames per second for your animation. For say, if you have choose 24 FPS, then you will have to draw 24 frames or pages to make 1 second of animation. I mostly animate at 12 frames per second, because then you can make smooth animation easily without drawing too much frames. Once you are done with the settings, just hit create project. Before moving further, let me tell you that I am not going to explain everything in detail. Superficially you will get an idea about it, and moreover, you will learn by doing it yourself. And if even though any doubt remain in your mind, you can ask me that in comment section. Okay, so here in left you have your tools. First one is pen tool. Flipaclip doesn't have much brush options, but these are also quite useful. You can change the size of your brush by just dragging this dot upwards or downwards. You can also change the color of your brush by clicking on this box, and then you can pick any color you want. On second place we have this eraser. Just like brush you can change its size too. Here we also have a smoothness option. You can change your eraser to hard edges or to soft edges according to your need. Then we have selection tool. You can just make a selection and move it or change its proportions or rotate it as you want. Here is a paint bucket tool. You must be familiar with it. It helps you color anything with just a click. Last one is that I have never used in my entire life. It's text tool. You can write whatever you want with this. Now here is the process, that how I approach an animation. Starting from scratch. On first layer I draw the rough sketch, then I change the opacity of layer to about 80%. Then I set the brush size to 30mm, color to black, and opacity to nearly 70%. Now we are ready to draw. I use pose to pose method to animate. It means, first I have to draw all the keyframes or main frames of animation. This gives me a rough idea that what my animation is going to look like. On top right click on 3 dots, and from here you can turn on onion skin. It helps in animating smoothly. It shows you previous and next frame in low opacity, so that you can draw and match frames according to you. It is one of the most useful and helpful option that Flipaclip has. Once I have drawn all the keyframes, and I am satisfied with that, then I start drawing in-betweens. It depends on your animation that how many in-betweens you will have to draw between each keyframe. Usually I draw 2 to 3 frames between each keyframe. Now I am drawing expressions. I like drawing the big shapes and structures first, then I move on to smaller details. After completing rough sketch animation, I make a new layer for LineArt. Unlike rough sketch, in LineArt, I try to draw every line in one go. I try to make one clear and smooth line, not hatchy and feathery lines like I do while drawing rough sketch. For me, inking is a process of hit and trial method, because you have to undo and redraw the same thing again and again to get the correct line. When inking or line art is done, I make a new layer for coloring and put that layer underneath the line art layer. Many people ask me why I don't use Paint Bucket. So the answer is if I use Paint Bucket I won't be able to make further changes in it, because you will have to paint in that same layer. You can't use Bucket to paint in a new layer. And it restricts me to draw things like shadow and highlights. Therefore I don't use it. Now only the last step is remaining, which is painting shadows. I don't always paint shadows. Sometimes work could be done even without adding shadows, and sometimes I paint shadows along with highlight smears and many more details. Further, it is completely up to you. Whatever detail you want to add in it to make it look more good, you can add. After that I combine all the layers and make some more changes in the frames. And you are done. Now just click on 3 dots and hit Make Movie. If you have a premium version of Flipaclip you can remove the Flipaclip watermark, and then click on Make Movie.